All right, so I wanted to start off my talk by asking you all a question. How many of you believe that our climate is changing? Okay, good. I honestly was not sure what I was going to do if none of you raised your hands, because the data is pretty undisputable. Our world is changing in an unprecedented way. We're seeing rising temperatures, rising sea levels, and more extreme weather conditions, and they are threatening people's lives. Sorry. Oh yeah. So for our own survival's sake, we need to figure out where our Earth is going in order to be able to try to stop it. And the best way to do that is by looking into the past. So, what if I told you that shells are like time capsules? By measuring the certain amount of different chemicals that get trapped in the shells of organisms like corals, blue mussels, oysters, we can then make calculations to those. We can make conversions of those signatures to then environmental conditions like temperature, rainfall rates, and then also like the rate of a river outflowing. So it all sounds pretty simple, right? You just go out, you collect your samples, you bring them back to the lab, and you measure them. Unfortunately, these techniques don't take into account the complex and different ways that these animals are making their shells. And so that's where my research comes in. The goal of my research is to isolate and assess the different effects that these animals' shell-forming processes have on these chemical signatures. To sort of assess the overall effects that these different animals have, we've grown almost 24 different animals under controlled conditions. And then to try to isolate these different effects and their effects on the signatures that actually end up getting recorded in the shells, we try to mimic them in the lab. Taken together, we should be able to isolate and assess these different effects, as well as ultimately help paleoclimatologists more accurately decode and reconstruct past climates. And so I've really enjoyed telling you all about how my work is going to help inform the fight against climate change, and I hope you did too.